Games, board games. We might be talking about board games, but I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and today I'll tell you all about this game, which is called SKÅL. SKÅL is about gathering dice and doing it at speed and more than once or twice. You do it over and over again. You're gathering at speed and you see when you do it. If you are the first, then you say SKÅL, and everybody else thinks, oh, that's the worst, because everybody else loses because you're first. I hope that's clear. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. Time 10 a.m. ish UK time for Busy Beats and Board Game Blether. And today I am going to be chatting about my initial thoughts of this game, SKÅL. So this is a game I've got for review. I've played it once with friends, actually kind of played it twice. I'm going to do a quick solo playthrough. We'll see how it goes. I'll get 5.5 minutes to get a number of points. I'll do it again, maybe do it a third time, give you some initial thoughts, and yeah, that's pretty much going to be the stream. But before we get to that, let's talk about some recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Honestly, I'm still a bit under the weather. I'm still kind of, yeah, like get that out of the shot. I'm still kind of, headachy. I'm going to try and get to walk outside, which is more than I managed yesterday, but I'm not going to go very far. And yeah, but there were some highlights. So I enjoyed playing. I enjoyed watching some films. I enjoyed looking through some photos, and yeah, I've enjoyed pondering things, and yeah, I've managed to make a meal for myself yesterday, which definitely feels like an achievement. Let's talk about brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? I think I was saying the other day how much I like speed games. I mean, people talk about, when people talk about games, they kind of assume that it's going to be competitive, that it's going to be turn-based, and even though there's a lot more cooperative games than speed games, I think, and cooperative games, it's kind of more, okay, you've got cooperative dexterity, cooperative, all sorts of stuff, but I love speed games. Now, the brilliant thing about speed games in general, and of course I say this because SKÅL being a speed game, like everyone's playing at once and there's no time to be bored. It's like, okay, we're going to do this thing. Now we need to all do it. Hooray, let's go. And there's no waiting for the other person to make their decision. No, if they're working on their decision, then, I mean, sure, there are occasional speed games where it's one person at a time, but usually speed games are synonymous with simultaneous action. Everyone's striving, and it lends a sense of franticness. It lends a sense of excitement to the table. And I think that this is a wonderful thing. And this is actually why I was very curious about playing SKÅL solo, because, yeah, apparently on the box, 1 to 6 players, 10 to 20 minutes, 8+. Now, as always, I like to say, please feel free to comment, ask questions, like, follow. If you're watching, then, having people say hello or ask questions is why I do these things live. And if you ask questions or comments after the fact, you know, on YouTube or whatever, then I will always try to reply. But let's crack on with it. So, SKÅL, what's this all about? As it says on the box, designed by Andrew Prowse, illustrations by Janette Ramos, and graphic design by Sebastian Coziner. I kind of know Andrew Prowse, and yeah, let me get up the banners for the review. So yes, these are lovely people, and I think this might be the first of Andrew's games I've played. So getting into the bias a little bit, I know Andrew, we've got a bit of a history. I think that, you know, back in Aircon number 4 or number 3, I can't remember what the numbering system is, we were hanging out together and we were getting to know each other. Andrew has paid me in the past for writing a song about one of their previous games, and yeah, I don't know Janette Ramos. I do know Sebastian Coziner. We've worked together. It says 1 to 6 players. I'm going to say that the more players you have, it's like the more frantic it's going to be, and everyone, it's all obviously better if everyone's on an equal footing. What's going on in SKÅL? Well, we've got a whole bunch of dice. Look at this. Dice, more dice, cards, and player mats. And you've got even little shot glasses. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, but also awesome. If you want to get 6 shot glasses for some reason and you have don't know where to get them and you want to support a UK designer and also want to get a dice game at the same time, then hey, this is a good option for you. We've got just chucking it all out onto the table. We've got the cards, and what's going to happen each turn typically is you're going to flip over one of these cards. Let's look at one of the more basic ones, like balance. Boom. I need to somehow do this. So let's say I'm playing red, because why wouldn't I play red? What kinds of, yeah. So I am clearly 4. So 4 comes here, starts off with a die on each of these areas, and then I look at this card, and first I stack up my card things, and then one at a time. I can't take like all the things at once. I need to get it into place and then take the other one. And then finally, boom, it managed to balance. So I was going to shift it for the camera, but you'll have to trust me. Can I actually get it so that you can see it on the sideways camera? No, I can't. But the point is, I would get it like that, and then as soon as I've done that, I would shout SKÅL, and the first person to get all their things into the correct position and shout SKÅL wins the card. That's basically the entire game. It's about being first to do the thing, grabbing the card, and there you go. There's a lot of other games where you're trying to be first to do the thing. There's no strategy here. It's purely performative, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. For example, my own game, a game about quickly matching words to pictures, but never words to words or pictures to pictures, is also a purely performative game. But that means that you have to ask yourself, is this an activity that you find inherently enjoyable? Do you find the idea of putting dice together and stacking them up inherently enjoyable? Is that something that you are going to like? Good morning, Josie. It is lovely to see you, and I hope you are well. I think that's enough for an overview. There are lots of complicated bits. So as well as the balance bits and the standard stack, you can add in the Huda stacks, which are about being blind, the rune stacks, where you have to use particular runes, and if you've got what the runes are, then you can use the wisdom card to let you know. And you've got the true stack, which is interesting because you've got to get your own number as shown on your card over here. And there's even the mischief cards, like just a couple of them. And finally, there's the terror, which actually adds in a decision for the person whose turn it is. Are they going to flip over a normal card, or are they going to go for the terror? I will get into that. I have to admit, I've not played with these myself, but yeah, let me get into how I played it and like all of that stuff. Hello, Xate. Bez phone. Hello, Bez phone. Yes, it is that's my phone. So yes, bias. I did get this for free. I think I'm sending it onwards. But yeah, I've kind of got it and have an interaction where it's, yeah, I promised to review the thing. That's a bias. I'm not being paid for this review. Yeah, that's pretty much all my bias. So let's talk about the player counts. Time, yep, sure. 10 to 20 minutes, I'm not going to disagree. Age 8+, yeah, sure. Firstly, I'm going to go into how it felt. Let's go into how I played it. I played it with Chris and McCall, two other people who love silly games, who love speed games, who love light strategic games, who love conversational games, and that ties in a bit with my own personal tastes. And so we played this a few times, and we all really enjoyed it. I'm going to say that Chris, yes, that Chris that you all know, was the best at this game. There's two different modes. Functionally, in the rules, it says, for your first game, do it this way. For your first game, you only use the stacks, basic stacks, nothing else, just basic stacks. Play on until someone wins 5. Then for the second game, it says, well, it's options. You can do whatever you want. It suggests shuffling all the school cards into the deck. I will admit that we didn't do that. We just carried on with the rune stacks and the true stacks and the balanced stacks, and that gave it a good amount of variety. We didn't go in with the Rata Tosker cards all about the mischief, and we didn't use the terrors. So there is meant to be a slight moment of, whoa, what's going on? What do I have to do with this one? Oh, that's the blind thing. Oh, yes, okay, we need to close our eyes. But with the blind thing, I mean, if someone is, it does add a bit of accessibility, and I kind of wish that the instructions had said, oh, don't shuffle whichever ones you want. It does have an option for challenges where you can force people to shut an eye or put an arm behind your deck, or indeed you've got the terror cards, which are a completely different system. So with the terror cards, it suddenly becomes 2 versus 2. Obviously, we were free players, so we couldn't try this, but it was, okay, us 2 against you 2. I'm going to choose the person who's... And then there's the politics of who do you decide as your partner, who do you decide, as your opponents, and presumably if someone's really winning and you're playing with 5 or 6 players, you won't include them in the options. I'm not sure how I feel about that little bit of politics, but if that's a thing for you, then great. We've also got a lot of other special abilities where for all of these characters, we've got Odin, who's able to look at stuff and choose which one they want to go for. Loki, this special ability felt really weird to me. So Loki's able to rearrange stuff so that their own rune is face up. So in this case, let's say you were playing green because we know how much Sate loves green. And we're like, okay, I'm going to use my special ability, which means that my own rune is now face up. But there's nothing in the rules that says you can't generally have your own rune face up unless I missed it. And so that felt a little bit weird because at a point it was like, okay, every turn we're going to prepare, and then there's a excitement, there's a tension, we're going to get these things ready. And now, well, if it's a true stack, then it matters. If it's just a normal stack, then it doesn't matter, obviously. We've got Idun. I don't know who Idun is. I guess they're all about food and prosperity. And I mean, all these drawings are quite evocative and quite cool. So Idun starts with an extra die already, which is boom. You don't have to reach over to the center to grab it. Freya gets to stack all the dice in the middle, which again saves a tiny bit of time. And then you've got Himdall, who is able to call other people to keep one of their eyes closed, but is able to keep their own eyes open. And finally, Thor, who has this advantage of always having the two arms, whereas everyone else might only be allowed to have, one arm behind their available. So there's a good amount of, okay, what's going on? You've got these special abilities. I didn't feel like they were super. I definitely felt reading through them that there's some that I would far prefer to be. I mean, Idun or Freya, who have the slight positional advantage of getting stuff into the middle of the mat, seem far superior to me. I mean, far worse than me compared to Thor, who's able to use two hands when everyone else can use only one. That feels like a much bigger advantage. And this, again, bearing in mind that we didn't play this, but like it felt like this would have been too much. But that's the other beauty of the game. You don't need to add everything. You can just say, we're going to keep that out. We're going to keep the terrors out because we don't like that. But we're going to keep the stacks because we like them, and we're going to keep the balances, and the game can grow with you. And the other thing about this game is, as it's meant to be, we will go to a certain number of points. The idea being, the designer told me that there's a bit of tension. Oh, that person's almost at this. Oh, that person's... And I feel like counting to a certain number of points, it always means that in between rounds, you need to remind yourself, how many points do you have? What are you up to? And yeah, especially if you're a little bit drunk. Let's talk about the drinking rules. I've not played the drinking rules. It's perfectly fun, it's perfectly enjoyable, and it's good times. Like, people have said that, yeah, the person who's better is always going to win. But that, and if you play, let's say you go through 10 cards, the person who's better is going... There might be someone who's like, oh, I just can't win, and that's okay. But, or maybe they're like, oh, I just can't win, and I'm a bit sad about it, and are despondent. It's very similar to any other speed game, whether you're looking at Dobble or, frankly, there's any games, and not every game has this, equalizer. It's just a case of, well, people need to be of a vaguely similar skill level. And if you're not, you're going to have a bad time, and you just need to accept it. So yeah, that is how it felt to play. I've not played the solo game rules yet, so I feel like that's something that I should do before I continue. Before we get into that, there's some chat about got some chat. A question: if you had to pick between a Chris-sized meeple or a meeple-sized Chris, so assuming I keep the original sized Chris, I would go for the meeple-sized Chris. That feels more interesting. Although if it's an actual sentient Chris and they're like, "Whoa, why am I so small?" They might be a bit upset, so I might be bringing grief into the world. So just to avoid that grief, I think I would go for the giant meeple. More boring as it might be, I just feel like, yeah. Nope, Chris will be the Honey I Shrunk defriended. Okay. I mean, no, I'm assuming that with the Chris-sized meatball, then I still get the original Chris. But anyway. So let's go with the solo game rules. I'm going to crack on, and what's going to happen is we take out all the terrors and everything else goes together. I will mention that it felt weird to me how few of a given card there is, because it felt like with, okay, stacks, you know what's going on, that's just basic. Okay, balance, that's a stack, but it's a little bit more complicated because it's more liable to fall over. So it's saying, hey, this is something that you might want to play with or without, depending on how difficult you want to make the game. And true stacks, your own number needs to be facing out where these rainbows are. Rune stacks, you need to double check the wisdom cards. Okay, that's fair enough. And then there's like all these extra things with extra rules, and you've got the mischief. And how many of them are there? There's like just for how few things there are, it felt like learning the rules. I mean, once I've learned a bunch of rules, I kind of want to use the rules. Do you know what I mean? I kind of want to be like, yeah, I've learned these rules. Now I get to put them into practice. And looking through everything, there is, as you can see, only one of these, the Mischief, Ratatosker cards. And yeah, that felt like a slight weirdness to me. I'm just going to mention it. It's like learning the rules just for the sake of one card. What's that all about? And for this one, you're allowed to take any dice, and it's a shape, and it's face down, and it's working kind of like the terrors, and it's just there to mix things up. But if you're there to mix things up, I mean, with one card in this fairly sizable deck, yeah, I like the fact that there's all these expansions basically in the box. That's the way I see it. It's a bunch of modular expansions. So yeah, let's crack on. And let me get 5-minute timer. 5-minute timer. And the idea of this game is that I see how many cards I can get within 5 minutes, and hopefully I will get a good number. I have no idea. This is the first time I've done this before, and yep. So, what did I say? I'm really confused. Are you imagining rude things? Yes. Okay. And before I start, yeah, there's a lots of chats about miniature Chris, a luxury lifestyle, and Chris could Make a fortune finding people's lost rings. Okay. Well, let me count down. Google, don't fail me. Come on. Surely. Okay. All right, let's go. I really should have gotten this set up beforehand. Do that, and we are starting the countdown. 5 minutes. Go now. Okay. So I've got to make the one that's a 5, so all the 5s have to be visible. Okay, so that's and all of them. How many of this is there? There's, oh my gosh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more, and there, boom, done. Oh wait, I need to clear these away beforehand. Okay, next one, rune stack. Okay, that's this one. I need to get 6s visible outwards, 6s on the forwards, and oh no, what am I doing? I'm totally messing up. Oh no. That's, and 2 more. Okay, we've got 2 more, and boom, done. Now get rid of those. Wait, the countdown paused. Oh, the countdown paused. And what's up with that? I'll have to start again. Sorry about this. Technical issues. Let's start again. So just so you know, when it says a number, that number has to be facing this way, which means that, for example, with the 6, it would have to be facing that way, which means I have to remember the 1 is facing towards myself. But let's start the timer again and go. Okay, 4:59. Okay, so I need to have my thing facing that way, so that's 3s. So I need to have the 4s and something else, 4s and something else, 4s and something else, and 4s and something else. Okay, I've done that. Get rid of these. Wait a minute, did I just slightly cheat by taking black before I took the red? I think I did. 3. I need the 3s to be visible. Okay, again, all of them need to be 3s. But it's that way, so I need to look at the 4s. Okay, I need to look at 4s. I need to rotate these dice correctly. Just 2 more. 2 more. SKÅL. Okay, so I take that, and these go away, and get these into the corners. 4 minutes left. Okay. Rune stack, that is the 4. So the 3s need to be facing me this time. 3s need to be facing me. Okay. 3s. 3s. 3 and 3. Boom. Done that. SKÅL. Go on. Okay, 3 minutes 39. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Okay, so we've got a 1, which means I need a 6. Then a 2, which means I need a 5. Then that 3, which means I need a 4. That 4 means I need a 3. Okay, and I can only take these one at a time. This 5 means I need a 2. And that 6 means I need to grab a 1 because it's correct from that direction. SKÅL. Got these. Okay, so this is just a very simple stack, and need to grab them one at a time. And how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more. Boom! SKÅL. Okay, another basic stack, and get them together. I can't grab more than 1 at a time, and 1 more, and then 1 final one, and SKÅL. Okay, done. Okay, I need to do this all blind whilst closing my eyes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. So I need to do this blind. Whilst, okay, 1, 2. I'm going to forgive myself if I grab the wrong color. Oh my gosh, this is 3. Oh shit, pardon my language, I slightly cheated. I grabbed 2 at once. Hopefully this is good. Yes, I did it. SKÅL! Okay. 149. Okay. A very quick stack. This 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh no, they're all falling down. Terrible. 2, 3. SKÅL. Okay, 135. Keep on going. Basic stack. 3 more dice to put on here. And SKÅL. Okay. Put that aside. 120. Rune stack. So that is the number 1. So I need the 6s to be on this side. Okay, so 6. Come on, 6. Oh. 6. 6e. 6e. SKÅL. Okay, 103. Boom, boom, boom. True stack. Okay, so I get 3 on this side, and I need to get 4s visible to me, so 3 is facing outwards, and that doesn't matter. That's a 4 to me. This one doesn't matter, and this one's a 4 to me. SKÅL. Okay, get rid of that. 38 seconds. Oh my gosh, 36. Another one of these. There we go. This one doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter, and this one needs to be a 4 on this side. SKÅL. 21 seconds. Can I get one more? 16. Stack. This one looks hard. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Oh no, it doesn't land. Oh no, 1 second. That's it. Ah well. So yeah, that's it. That is so. Josie asks, can the numbers be upside down when facing forwards? I mean, I don't think that, like with a 6, upside down is the same as the right way up, and I don't think. Yeah, I guess if you get the rune dice for the deluxe edition, then you can actually tell which way they are, except for Idun, and yeah, I guess Himdall is also rotationally symmetrical. But yeah, it just says that they have to be facing forwards. There's nothing about the rotating. So I have the basic dice here, and the rules don't say anything about it being rotated in the right way, just that it has to be facing the correct direction. And Xate, lots of love, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. So that was the game. How did it feel? It felt frantic, it felt exciting, and honestly, the Hooder card did feel like a minor achievement. Now, how well have I done? I don't know. I've got some number. Is that a good number? Is that a bad number? I have no idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20, 21. So I did 21 points, because at the bottom of each card, these little face things, I mean, actually, I think they are meant to be the tree of life and everything, but to me, it kind of looks like a mask with 2 eye sockets. But yeah, so that was 21 points. So Josie says, I looks like I was having fun. Yeah, it is. Like, I'm going to say the variety of these, definitely, for if you've got enough people, if you've got a good crowd, I don't feel like you need necessarily that variety. But with, one player, it's like, oh, what's the next challenge going to be? And there is a good job of, different things. Let me have one more go. because I said I'd have at least 2 more goes. And let me also realign these things. And let me actually get rid of that so I'm not. Let's go super serious. Okay, so let's get rid of the box top for a moment. Okay, so we've got our cards, our main 4 dice. We've got this wisdom card that's just there to remind me what rune means which number, if you know what I mean. And lots of love. Have a good day. And we've got some extra dice here. So one more time. Let's go for it. Charge up the timer and go. Oh my gosh. Okay, stack. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh no. And 4. Okay, SKÅL. And you need to put them back. And the next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just need 2 more black dice. Oh no! Damn, I'm doing really badly with this one. And the dice for the records are really nice. SKÅL! Because they're kind of rounded, they're not exactly square, so there's a bit of trickiness and balance. Okay, get these 2 on the outside. But now I take this one. Now I take this one. Damn. Oh no! This is my least favorite balance card. Oh no! Come on. Come on. Yes! SKÅL! Finally. And get rid of those. And boom. Okay. True stacks. Okay, so I need 4s on these. 4s in my direction. And one more with a 4. Boom! There we go. SKÅL! Stack, so that's 4, 2, 1, 1. You can only pick them up one at a time, which does slightly hinder you. SKÅL! Okay, that's done. And we go again. True stacks. Okay, so this one at the bottom, that's a 4. That's 4, that's a 4, and then 2 in the middle where they don't matter. But I can only grab them one at a time. SKÅL! Okay, that's it. And next card, rune stacks. That means the 2, so I need to get the 5s on my side. 5, 5. Damn. And 2 more. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. SKÅL! Okay. Come on, keep on going. Speed up. And that's the 5, so I need the 2s on my side. Come on. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just one more. Come on. SKÅL! Yes, it didn't fall. That was very precarious. Rune stacks. Okay, so this is the 1s on my side because the 6s need to be showing. So and there's a couple more dice to go here. SKÅL! Okay. Get rid of those. Put these in the corners. Oh my gosh, this rune stack, damn. So we've got 3 here, and that's 2. Boom, boom, boom. We've got that is a 1, and that's a, oh my gosh, 4, and that's a 5, and that's a 6. Boom, SKÅL. Okay, 1 minute 20, and okay, hopefully this won't be as tricky as last time. Let's See. SKÅL! Okay. It was a lot easier than my first one. True stacks again, so I've got to have 4s showing. Okay. Boom. 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 And a boom. Oh no! No! SKÅL! Okay. 37 seconds left. Hooder, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling tense about this one. SKÅL? Yes, I managed to do that. Okay, 16 seconds. Oh my gosh, so I need freeze showing. Okay, so this changes everything. And and that, and that, and that, and 2 more. Oh, I didn't quite get it. I'm just like 1 second too late. Otherwise, I would have gotten 3 more points. So that is me. That was SKÅL, my second attempt. Hello, Johannes. It is lovely to see you. I'm just playing SKÅL solo, and then so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. Nice. So first go, I got 21 points. Second go, I got 24. I feel like I want to write that down somewhere. Let's write it down here. 21, then 24. And so, yes, honestly, I could absolutely see myself doing the solo mode one more time. And I feel like I should try it once more just because then you'll have seen literally all the cards. So shall I give it one more go and see if I can beat my high score once more? Let me know what you think. But if you don't want to see this, then I will... No. Why are you here if you don't want to see me playing SKÅL? So let's go for it. Let me get the timer ready in my other screen. Unfortunately, I don't have like an overlay with a 5-minute timer, but you get the idea. Okay. We're going to go reset the timer and take a drink of water. Serious game face on. I've got to beat 24 points. Can I do it? Okay, start the timer. Okay. Stack. Okay, what we've got to do is we've got to just take these things one at a time, put them on, and one more, and SKÅL. Okay, that felt quite tricky for just 1 point. Stack again. Okay, so do these and then 3 more. 1, 2, 3. SKÅL. Okay, so get rid of those, put them in the corners again, and it's another stack. And 1, 2, 3. SKÅL. Okay, get these and put them into the corners, and these ones I need to have 4s facing me, so the 3s are facing outwards. So boom, boom, and I need to do all the reds first, and so these ones don't matter. And then I've got 2 more, so boom and boom with the 4s facing me. SKÅL. Okay, that's done. 4 minutes left. Oh my gosh. Balance. Okay, this looks tricky. I'm not looking forward to this one. Okay, let's do that. And then let's do that and that. Okay, and that and SKÅL. Okay, I think that's done. That went okay. True stacks. Okay, we've got 2 here. We've got the 4. And we've got something else rotated to 4 here. Then we've got 3 more that don't matter where they are. And I do. Oh no! SKÅL. And get rid of those. Put them in the corners. And 4. And 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. SKÅL. Okay. Let's keep on going. Come on. Can I beat that score? Oh my gosh, this looks tricky. I'm not happy about this one for only 1 point. 2, 3, 4. Come on. SKÅL! Okay. Come on, we can do this. Stack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 4 like that, and then take these one at a time. So 5 and 6. SKÅL! Okay, done. 2 minutes 43. Okay, keep on going. True stacks. Okay, this is where 4s need to be facing me whenever there's a rainbow color. So 4 and 4, and then 2 of anything in the middle. And now we're seeing the stuff that I did before. SKÅL! And we'll see how I get on. Can I do even better? Rune stack. So this one I need the 5s facing me. All of them need to be 5s. Because Loki is a 2 apparently. 5, 5, and 5, and I need 2 more. 5 and SKÅL! Okay, got it. And it's only collapsed when I touch it afterwards, so it's all good. Okay, this one, they need to be 2s facing me. Okay, we can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so one more. SKÅL! Okay. And put them properly. SKÅL. And oh my gosh, another rune stacks. That is the 6. So I need to get the 1s facing me. And 1 minute 36 remaining. I can do this. Come on. Let's do some more stacking. We can go. Okay. Rune stacks, go. SKÅL. It's like Mechabots, go. Rune stacks. Oh my gosh, this is a tricky one. Okay, so we've got a 3 here. We've got a 2 here. We've got a 1. And then here we've got a 4. We've got a 5. And we've got a 6. Okay. SKÅL. Okay. I mean, definitely getting fast strats, equating those things. Stacks. Okay. 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. SKÅL. Okay. Out of the way. We can do this. Keep on going. 43 seconds. Okay. Oh my gosh. I've got to do it blind. Okay, so it's 4 by 4. Okay, I'm totally blind. I mean, I shut my eyes. Can only take one at a time. Damn. Okay, I'm going to start again. Damn, 30 seconds. Come on, I can do this. 2, 2, and keep my hands here so it's got. Okay. I can do this. Come on. One more level. One more level. Oh my gosh. One more. Yes! SKÅL! Okay, 6 seconds. I'm not going to be able to do the last one. 3. That's me up. That's me out of time. So, yes. That was SKÅL. And hopefully that gives you a bit of a sensation of how it feels to play. And let me count up my points for this time. I don't think I did as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh my gosh, I actually managed 26. I do feel like this one was quite tricky for me. And some of the stacks for only 1 point, I kind of, not going to lie, I feel almost resentful of those ones because it's, and like that one cost me a bit of time. But 26 points. Nice. So I continue to improve. And that is SKÅL. So let me get to my thoughts. Oh my gosh, I just noticed. Need to fiddle with the plug. So yes, as you can see, it is a frantic game. You need to keep going as quickly as you can. Like with the 1-player game, you just need to keep going. There's no reprieve. With a 2, 3, 4, like as I say, I've only played the 3-player game, but you know, you get the reprieve. It's like, okay, everyone's lining up. Okay, I'm turning over the thing. Go, and then there's a flurry of activity, and then you stop. they're both very different. I think that 5 minutes is kind of just enough to make it work. If it was too much longer, I think I would just get fatigued, because it is quite tiring being with no reprieve at all. So I think that's perfectly balanced. I think that I do actually really like, having played through it as one player, I do really like this little bits of, okay, we're going to mess you up with these. I think that there is a little bit of nagging in my mind, saying, you know what, did I check all those things properly? Because with a multiplayer game, obviously everyone else is going to check you, make sure the numbers are correct. And I also want to say that I really like the fact that it's not just stacking these as cubes. It's not just going boom, 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 boom. My favorite ones were actually, these, like, okay, now you've got it uses the dice as what they are, using the different numbers, kind of adding a little bit of extra dexterity that you couldn't get with anything else rather than dice. And I don't know any other game that does that. And that's really cool. I mean, let's go into the things that I loved. I really like the variety of stuff. I'm still not sure about having just one card like this. That feels kind of off to me. But, boom, you've got to be balanced. You've got to, with closing your eyes. And as I said, I love these rune stacks where, okay, I've got to consult each thing one at a time, and it's a mixture of all 6 of these things. It adds a little bit to think about, and it would only be possible with the components that are here. That's really nice, using the components as they are. Fundamentally, it's a good, solid game. It's one of those, why didn't anyone else do this before? And I think that's a really strong place for a game to be. Let's get into stuff I didn't like. I do feel like, okay, the grabbing one at a time, whilst that makes sense from okay, there's a little bit extra going on and you can sort of see people rushing into the middle, so it feels like you're doing something all together. I do wish that there was just one more black dice, because theoretically, with the number of black dice that there are some cards which have, more bits and more. You might end up in a situation where everyone's got their 4, and let's look at something that needs 8. Basically, my issue with it is that there are some cards that need 8 things. For example, here. So if everyone was evenly matched and they were all boom, 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 and then while I'm doing that, maybe you pick up your last one and everyone else in a 6-player game. Again, it's really unlikely to happen, but just the mathematical possibility of there's no one die left in the middle, that does kind of bother me. But I am bothered by these things. I do also think that the whole stuff needs to be facing outwards. Felt a little bit strange. So it wasn't entirely clear in the rules as I read it with the asymmetric thing. So some of the things are symmetrical. It doesn't matter. And it does say it needs to be correct when looked at by other people. But then we had a bit of a discussion. Does that mean that it's kind of like that? And then so you need to make both the shape and the number as a mirror reflection? I mean, I'm assuming that's what you need to do, but that is a tall ask. And, I think that's perfectly cool. And I think that if that's the case, then having asymmetric things is itself a new variety, because other people are like, oh, you've got this shape, but you did this shape when it was looking at you. And let's say I do it like that. So these bits are higher. Then I'm like, okay, well, that's correct from my perspective, and the numbers are correct from your perspective, but the shape is wrong. I feel like I wanted to have some clarification in the rules. I wanted that to be clearer. I would like to have at least one of these wisdom cards per player. And the final thing I would say that slightly bothered me is these ones where there was like just a couple where there's a bit to count, when it's like, okay, how many things are there exactly? And then you've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that doesn't feel like an interesting sort of confusion. It feels like a slightly, yeah, it feels like everyone just wants to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can't. So I understand that that's what the thing's doing, but that was just against my personal tastes. But, these are minor quibbles. Who would actually, let's get into the whole thing about the alcohol. So, drinking. This is potentially a drinking game. And in the rules, it says, how will you drink? Let me actually read this out verbatim. The players will need to agree exactly how this will take place. Will the winner or losers drink each round or once per game? Sip or finish drink? Please drink responsibly. And that's all the suggestions it gives you. I mean, later on it kind of reminds you to drink responsibly, but I kind of wish that they'd just lead into this, because to me it feels like abdication of design. And I'm totally down with someone saying, hey, these are 2 options, but if you're going to give us 2 options, at least tell us this is what it does to the game. Like, this is the balanced variant, this is the tyrant variant where people will keep winning. I mean, in a reply on the Kickstarter, Andrew Prowse said, yeah, some people like it to be balanced, in which case have the winner drink. Some people like the winner to keep winning and be a tyrant, in which case have everyone else drink. And okay, that makes sense but couldn't you sort of write that in the instructions? I mean, I kind of wish that, given that they got these quite nice shot glasses, I kind of wish it had been an intrinsic rule of the game. Fill it up with some liquid. It doesn't need to be alcohol. It can be water. And then when you finish your thing, part of the rules are that you've got to drink and then shout SKÅL. And I think that would be interesting. I think it would make the game, I just feel like it's kind of gone halfway and it's not accepted it. Sure, it doesn't need, this game can be absolutely enjoyed without alcohol. But since you've got the shot glasses, wouldn't it be fun to kind of have them be an intrinsic part of the game rather than just an, hey, you make up the rules for how this works kind of thing? That feels really weird to me. And the whole, oh, this doesn't need to be played as a drinking game, when on the cover it's clearly, okay, everyone's drinking. It feels like it's sending mixed messages. Whereas if it was, we recommend playing this with water, or it's just an extra thing, and Chris said, oh, then I'd have to keep going to pee. But it is kind of funny. It does add to the ludicrous nature if you had to go, SKÅL. SKÅL. I mean, yeah, that's my personal tastes. That's my personal take on the drinking. That's a kind of wish it had leaned into it a little bit more. So who would this game be good for? I think people who are looking for a quick game. Unlike most, a card gets flipped over and then you do a thing and one person wins the cards games, this one is a little bit more involved, because most games of that nature, it's just, okay, you match something or you quickly make a shape. And, this one, yeah, the dice dice stacking, it's simple. Anyone can probably do it, maybe except for a couple of the balance ones if you've got issues with your hands and some of the taller towers. And it takes a little bit more time. So it's not just, oh, we've got to think for 2 seconds. It is kind of, again, I wouldn't call it a puzzle because there's also some speed puzzle games where it's, okay, this is everyone go for this. And now we're going to take 30 seconds over it. There are some that are more puzzle-like when you mix the different runes together, and that definitely works well to mix it up, to make it, what's going on here? But it occupies an almost unique space. You need to be enjoying the chaos. You need to be enjoying the speed and happy to have a little bit of, well, people who would enjoy having a little bit more time between each point. And towards the end of the review, I like to talk about what I learned about myself and maybe about topics in general. I mean, as a player, I guess it's a reminder that I am bothered by things that probably won't happen just because there's a mathematical chance of them happening. I like things to be neat and simple and very clear, and that's just a reminder of that. You know, someone on, almost certainly on the autistic spectrum, and talking about neatness, that's probably a big part of why Ratatoskr does really bother me, because here you're taking stuff from other people, and it's entirely possible that maybe no one will ever finish this because you're just taking from other people. They're taking from you, you're taking them from other people. And I am massively bothered by that. I mean, in reality, I guess at some point someone would be like, well, I'm a bit tired, I'm giving up, so it's a question of perseverance or something. But it feels potentially unsatisfying, I guess is the easiest way to put it. As a designer, I guess I'm reminded of the value of having totally different things. And even though there are only, I think, 2 Hooder cards in the deck, it does actually work quite well. I mean, I do kind of wish that there were more. I do kind of wish that, because I enjoyed these, I found it an interesting challenge, and I could easily imagine at least a couple more shapes that you could make with these. What about just, okay, a 4, then 3 going up, like boom, 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 boom. And what about a 3 and then a 2 and then a 1 and a 1? You want them to be relatively easy, but yeah, but at the same time, I did really enjoy that variety, especially in the solo mode, especially in, oh, what's going to come out now? And not everything has to be perfectly balanced. Not everything has to, because if you overbalance things, then you get rid of some of the excitement, and that's an important thing to remember. Overall summary, I think it's a quality game. I think that, like, for full disclosure, I think I'm probably going to have to send this back. But if I didn't have basically too many games and I'm in the process of trying to get rid of stuff for my emigration next year, this is definitely one that I would be excited to keep, and excited to play more and try out these terrors, because even though I have concerns about them as a, the politics involved, that's the thing. This game is very group dependent. You want to play it with people who are closely matched, ideally, people who enjoy frantic games, and people who, if you enjoy a tiny bit, if you don't mind a tiny bit of mathsiness, I'm thinking, okay, that's got to be facing them, therefore it's that, therefore I've got to get that. I think, yeah, you could do a lot worse than this. And I think it honestly occupies a slightly unique space. I've been really pleasantly surprised by this. I mean, for all the simplicity, I was not expecting to have as much fun as I did. Absolute joy. Yeah, that's how I'll sum it up. Let's crack on and let me wrap up and ask you question of the day, question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. Question of the day. So my question of the day is, do you like speed games? And if so, what's the fastest game that you've enjoyed? I do like speed games, which you can probably tell by the fact that I designed quite a few of them. The fastest games that I've enjoyed, like I was actually thinking like the most frantic, but I don't know if speed. That's a really difficult thing to measure. I'll say that for some reason I'm thinking Win Lose Banana, even though it's not a speed game, that takes about 30 seconds probably to play each game. Grabble, it takes about 2 minutes to play through one game. Are there things that I can say that's more frantic than? I feel like Grabble is probably, yeah, I feel like Grabble and a game about quickly grabbing creatures that's totally different and counting your beetroots is probably the most frantic game I know. Because, yes, actually, a game about quickly grabbing creatures that are totally different and counting your vegetables. Because you're constantly grabbing for a whole minute. There's no reprieve. There's no, okay, I did that. Now you get like half a second of checking out. You've got to constantly be at it. And you can't slow down, because if you slow down, then you're going to lose. Actually, I think I'm going to say Grabble just because it's got the tension of the slam at the end, whereas the other one is just, okay, pick up, and that feels like it has a little bit of a denouement, where it has a little bit of, oh, there's nothing for me, okay, now I grab my vegetables. So I'm going to say Grabble, played with 2 or 3 players, is the most frantic, speedy speed game I know that I've enjoyed. And what's about you? J Fool's Guard says, not the biggest fan of speed games, but I do really like Happy Salmon. Yeah, that's a quality one. And I'll play them in good company. And yeah, those are some. Well, that's a good choice. Happy Salmon. Have you played the silent version? That's really cool. Yeah, I'll definitely play Happy Salmon anytime. Assuming we have space around the table and stuff. Pardon me. Over to you. What are you up to? You can share button if you want to. Oh my gosh, despite the amount of energy that you might feel like I have this ridiculous pounding headache. I feel like I want to get back to sleep, and I feel like there is actually something wrong with me. It came on Wednesday, and yeah, there's something massively physically wrong with me. But yeah, I'm going to do that. I might try and do, yeah. Honestly, today's pretty much like yesterday. I'll try and cook something for myself to eat. I'll try and get outside. Yep, maybe even shower. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be a lot of bedtime and possibly either reading or reading comics or watching videos and probably sleeping again quite soon. That is me. What are you up to? Let me know. J Fool's Guard says, I do like Grabble too. That's lovely to hear. And Sate is drinking water and going to bed and maybe taking a COVID test. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear. Yeah, lots of love. And Sate says the speed game I like best is Carcassonne. So I'm hearing that you do not like speed games at all. That's what I'm hearing from that. So recap and wrap up before we finish up. So to recap and wrap up, this game is a speed game. It's you know what? It's there's a lot of cards and you can use them or not use them. You can use the special abilities or not use the special abilities. That's something I like about it, the modularity. You can make it for yourself. I am not going to lie, slightly sad that there's not more of a direction. There's this vague hand wavy, hey, do it as you want if you want to drink. Given that the shot glasses came with the game, I kind of do feel like. But overall, it's a lot of fun and it's silly, it's rambunctious, and it definitely occupies a slightly different space to every other speed game that I've played. And I can't say better than that. So as always, if you want to check me out, I am Stuff by Bez. If you want to check out my future streams, go to stuffbybez.com/streams and please do share, spread the word. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Yeah, thanks everyone who's been commenting or just people who've been lurking and anyone who watches after the fact. Oh, that was advice for me. Drinking water and going to bed and taking a COVID test. Okay. Okay, yes, with a chess clock or any digital timer, I can absolutely see how everything could be considered a speed game. Speaking of which, it reminds me of the chess people who were playing chess within 2 minutes. I would really like to play Ultra Blitz, something like Corridor or whatever. Yeah, I mean, in theory, isn't everything just a really slow speed game? Because if you take too long of your turn, then other people will get annoyed and stop playing with you. Thank you for being here. It's been lovely. And hopefully next time I meet you in person, I'll know who you are. Johannes. Once more, thank you everyone. Lots of love. And the only thing left for me to say, as always, is bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Do, 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 do. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Do, 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 do. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go through. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Lots of love. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day. Lots of love. Bye-bye.